So when you say you wait on God, do you literally not take any action towards building whatever you were initially doing until God signs it off or gives you that confirmation? Or are there situations where sometimes you just take it into your own interpretation and just go with it?
What my wait on him looks like is stages of prayer
Mm-hmm.
and processing. So what it began like for me was in December of 2015, I left a 5-year, which turned in almost a 6-year contract with the organization that I was managing director for. So coming to the end of that term, I was supposed to leave in June. They asked me to stay another 6 months to the end of the year to transition 3 new people in that were going to take my position and a couple others. So it's helping with that transition part to make the continuity more smooth. So I said, great, happy to do it. In the process, what I was also asking the Lord was, do I need to start looking for a new situation right now? Or can I just catch my breath, decompress, and rest? And I sensed like I had some liberty to take the better part of the next year off. And I was really grateful, of course, to do that. So
Wow.
just say thank you.
Not many people get that call from God to
So
take a year off.
that was really nice. And so, but what that meant was I wasn't going to go to the Bahamas and just, sip drinks with umbrellas in them. What I go back to when I said prayer in the process was I began just simply asking the Lord, first giving thanks for the season I came out of, because it was wonderful. My prayer in that context was, Lord, where are the places where you want to see your kingdom advance and move and grow? But there's just been few people willing to enter into that place. And that's where the prayer began. The process that evolved over the coming year was what I naturally love doing, which is reading and doing some kind of light research. So at any given time, I'm looking at multiple different things, both internationally, things here domestically. I don't have a background in engineering technology, but I just fascinated with it. So most of it is over my head, but I just enjoy reading about it. While I'm waiting on God, there's the active process of actively waiting, just like there's an active listening. Listening can sound like a passive thing. I'm just listening. There could be a waiting on God, waiting in a sleeping and slumbering kind of way, or you could be waiting on him in a very active and expectant way because you're trusting that he's actually going to speak. So in my praying and in my heart posture, at any moment during the time of that day, that week, I'm absolutely expecting to hear. There's an excitement and there's an anticipation of, Lord, what would you have me to do next? More than hopeful, there's just the strengthening that comes while you're waiting. And then in the process, there's just liberty and freedom in Christ to just go explore. And I think that's one of the times of life where people don't take enough advantage of those moments. Once I had those 3 areas in my Venn diagram, it's a little bit like being real creative. You've got your boundary. You can be creative within them, but you don't necessarily want to go outside the reservation there. Because if that's what God is calling you to do, you want to be faithful and obedient to do it. But in this other season, which is not quite a wilderness, it's different. You've got liberty to go any place, almost do anything. And there's no boundary. So you can kind of like play and think and imagine and explore, what about business in these areas, or work in this field? Or what if I wanted to go back and finish my PhD?
I see.
What if I want to go back and teach at graduate school? I mean, you can kind of explore these different possibilities and imagine different things. And so from that standpoint, it's fun, it's encouraging, it could be exciting. But then also the excitement of anticipation of, well, now that the Lord's settled these things, now I want to get down to, okay, if these are the 3 areas he's put in front of me, those are extremely broad categories. So how do you start to define those in the context of what you pray? Lord, what would you have me do in those 3 spaces?